THC, because we have a complete different endocannabinoid system, and that also changes with the amount of estrogen in our body. It's a very complex but unappreciated factor for womanhood product development. And but like I heard from some companies that actually patients are asking pharmacies for lower THC product. That's one of them. And again, like you mentioned, inhalation is one application form, and some women really need this very quick onset of the effect. But there are many other formats. Like we forget how topical formats could be helpful and effective for voima or like back pain. We forget like vaginal suppositories, other oral applications, and you know that a slow release, for example, for ADHD medications, we have this a slow release of products like throughout the day with this like innovation mechanism, like every hour 10% or 20% of the amount is released in the body. We have none of that in cannabis space, and like again, it gives us a huge like opportunity window to design products for women.
Maybe you can tell us a little bit, Dr. Lakisha, what kind of product the ladies in the US are using, because it's a little bit more developed also from the product landscape.
So as a clinical compound herbalist, that's my sweet spot. I have a little over 500 herbal blends that I compound in small batches proprietary. 57 of them have a phytocannabinoid profile. So I really look to study, how phytocannabinoids, well, all of the active constituents, the phytocannabinoids, the terpenes, the flavonoids, and the lipids that are found within that botanical work within the system. And again, it's what method of administration. I particularly love sublinguals, so a tincture, like the drops that you put under your tongue, because that's like a straight delivery system to the bloodstream. It has that instantaneous effect similar to the combustibles, but because you're ingesting it, it's hitting more of those receptor sites. So you're getting a more effective supplementation of the endogenous cannabinoid system. The effects that you feel last a little bit longer because they're metabolized different, and they're metabolized in the liver different. So I find that especially with those, you can also dose it almost exactly, because they come in a 1 ml bottle that's 30 drops. You can almost dial it in to the exact drop that works for you during different times. So for me, I find that my patient base loves that as a delivery system, the sublinguals.
It's actually a great bridge. So let's talk a little bit about microdosing, which is your specialty, Cloé. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about that and what experience you've had with microdosing, and more is less.
Yes, for sure, more. Yeah. So obviously I create my own protocols for well-being and also for medical cannabis. To be honest, I'm starting from start low and go slow and stay as low as possible. It is very, very meaningful, because when we talk about the let's start with the endocannabinoid system. This system, he have his endogenous cannabinoids, he have his enzymes, and sometimes he needs just a little help to go and to find the potency. So the high doses doesn't mean anything. Just we will go searching for intoxicating effects, side effects, and we will go to the harmful part of medical cannabis or cannabis use. So to minimize this side effect, we should go really searching for the lower doses. And for this, I was using in the beginning for my protocols only phytocannabinoids, and after that, I followed 300 patients in sleep disorders, mental health, and pain, and I identified that there's something missing. And this something, it was the entourage effect, because I was using broad spectrum, but it wasn't enough. I was I need something more, and I found it on terpenes. So I'm not using terpenes from cannabis because, as you know, like the extraction is very, very expensive to get the terpenes from cannabis. So I'm getting this terpenes from essential oil, and it's changing everything from the results.
That's super interesting. Maybe Shabnam, let's also talk about products you put on yourself and not in yourself, like creams or the wonderful breast cream you developed. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's exactly the topical topic that we just talked about. And you know, like endocannabinoid resistant receptors, you know, we have it everywhere, and also like they modulating the pain. So when you have all of these topicals that you can use for pain, like the nociceptive pain, which is like on the surface, not internally, the topical products would be very, very helpful. We have also like many anecdotes and many like clinical studies. I mean, you said Shabnam talked about the product that you put inside, but here I also want to like mention the products that actually women put in themselves, because we recently got a very beautiful clinical trial with the CBD vaginal application with terpenes myrcene like 5%, and that actually showed a reduction in pain during intercourse. That showed like the quality of life was better for the like perimenopausal and menopausal woman, and also helped with vaginal atrophy. So all of these OT products that can like benefit women a lot. Obviously, I'm so happy that we are seeing them like little by little arising, and yeah, hopefully more.
Yeah, no, I think people forget that our skin is our largest organ, actually. It is an organ, it's an organ of elimination. You know, it eliminates things, but it can also draw things in. So having topical applications are also very important. But another important point was, brought up. When you're taking the full plant, the botanical itself, and you're dividing it to a sum of its parts, so whether you're extracting it to have isolates, or extracting it to, remove the terpenes, or putting it in different forms, you're not really giving your body the opportunity to choose what it needs naturally. And so that's why I'm a proponent of, number one, whole plant medicine, but number two, using it more nutritionally. I was giving a talk, a keynote on the dietary modulation of the endogenous cannabinoid system, because really ingesting products, like ingesting them and having a full spectrum profile, so all of the phytocannabinoids, all of the terpenes, all of the flavonoids, and all of the lipids, because as you said, phytocannabinoids are enzymes. They're enzymes that are fat soluble. So if you don't have that fat, those lipids, you know what I mean? When you're ingesting them, the bioavailability is really, not there. So I think when we're talking about products and we're talking about product development, we need to make sure that we're including, nutritionally, when you ingest something, your body now has the ability to choose what it needs naturally and then discard the rest. If it's not needed at that time, your body actually has the ability to choose.
So it's like let life be medicine. Yeah. But like this actually creates like an interesting area of tension. I mean, you said in the US now there's this new research possibilities. Actually, I know that a lot of pioneers in our industry, especially for things like Charlotte's Web and stuff like that, they're very scared.